This is mental wellness in the modern world. Our mission is to connect biblical and psychological principles to better understand ourselves and the world around us. In a time when chaos is loud and pressure feels constant, peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Mental wellness isn't just about surviving, it's about finding clarity, strength, and meaning in the everyday. This is where honest conversations happen, where healing meets truth, and where you're reminded that you're not alone. Hi, I'm Eleni Lobene with Benison Kingdom Network, and this is Mental Wellness in the Modern World. Do you remember the story of Martha and Mary in the Bible? It's one of my absolute favorite stories, I think, because I relate so much to Martha. I am not good at slowing down. I'm not good at setting chores or tasks aside. When I have guests over, I want everything to be just right. And it's taken me a really long time to understand that about myself and accept it and learn how to slowly let that go. And I think a lot of us, a lot of women in particular, a lot of Americans can often relate to Martha because this culture is so busy. We are always on the go. We're always trying to get more and more done. We're always trying to accomplish things. And we don't always learn, and we're not always taught how to slow down. We're not always praised for slowing down. How often do you hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm so impressed by how you can just sit there and relax." That sounds like an insult, right? But that's exactly what God is telling us that we need to do in that parable. And what's really interesting is that once again, modern psychology and our understanding of human anatomy and neurology actually coincides with the lesson of needing to take rest and take breaks that is persistent in the Bible. So, for example, there's two systems in our nervous system that are often spoken about, which are the parasympathetic nervous system and then the sympathetic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic nervous system is what is activated when there is a threat or there is some need for activity and activation, and when you need to engage in your environment, right? So it can't be fight or flight. It can be lower key than full fight or flight, right? It can just be, oh, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to get this done. Throughout your day, you're like constantly like on the go, on the go, on the go. The parasympathetic nervous system, by contrast, is essentially when you are calm, when your nervous system calms down and you're able to relax and you're able to then have your breathing rate slow, your heart rate slow, you're just in a state of peace or calm. Now, it's hard to sometimes, if for some people, to accept that we need to be in this state, that we can just sit still and we can just exist in the world and be peaceful, and that's actually good for us. It's actually a necessity for recovery and rest and healing physically in our bodies. But then spiritually, we're also told in the Bible that it's something that's required. We need to be able to slow down and stop and pause and put everything else aside so we can focus on what is important. And that might be time with Jesus, literally, right? For Martha and Mary, or maybe it's just our reflection time, our prayer time, our just quiet. We don't prioritize quiet as much as we should, and it costs our health and our mental health as a result. This whole trend of meditation that has kicked up in the past 10 years or so, meditation is completely aligned, right? It's this idea of like turning off the distraction, focusing, centering on your physical state, exactly where you are, breathing deeply, all these techniques that they teach you on how to meditate are completely aligned. Basically, what you're doing when you're meditating is you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system and you're deactivating your sympathetic nervous system. You're telling your body, we are not in a state of go. We are not in a state of stress. We are in a state of peace and calm and safety, and you can relax right now. And you can actually lower your blood pressure in like a 5-minute meditation session. Meditation is actually quite hard, but I do think prayer has a similar effect, right? Time with God has a similar effect because you're turning off everything else in the outside world and you're just having a moment with God. That is very healing, it's very restorative, and is something that's not only mentioned in the Bible, but it's something that is supported by modern science. So take a moment to rest today. Take a moment to pursue peace and quiet and to let your parasympathetic nervous system get activated. I'm Eleni Lobene. This is Benison Kingdom Network. Thanks for tuning in to Mental Wellness in the Modern World.